Hey VC, it's Eric. It's been a while. I've been holding off making a video because I've been waiting for some vinyl to come in, and I figured, screw it, I'm just going to show some other stuff. First off, it's springtime. It's time for some Bell's Oberon beer. So, cheers, everyone. I know Jared likes to do a shot. I enjoy a shot once in a while, but I'm more of a beer man myself. So, alrighty, got a bunch of stuff to show. This is kind of weird. I don't know, how do you guys do this out there in the VC? I am running into a deal where there are some things I've gotten that I want to talk about that are only available in digital format, and that makes it difficult. And of course, this is going to be problematic for me because my iPod. All right. So there's this band I like called Miss Derringer, kind of a punky, like garagey girl group band. These are their CDs. I really like their stuff. Lullabies. Let's see if I can get a good angle there. This is Winter Hill. This is probably my favorite album of theirs, and if you're going to check them out, this might be the place to start. But they put out a digital-only EP, and so maybe the best thing I can do is it's on Amazon, try and show you the cover there. They do a Misfits cover on here and some other stuff. It's pretty good. I burned it. I bought it, downloaded it, burned it onto a CD, and been listening to it on the car and enjoying it. And a lot of what I'm going to be showing is CDs because that's what I've been listening to in the car. So next up, Andy was showing some cassettes today, and Cassette is God shows cassettes, so I figured I would show a few. Just some odds and ends. I think my last video I talked about King's X, and I think I talked about the Velvet Hammer in that one, which were a kind of King's X tangential band from the 90s. This is their cassette. All right, Andy showed his Queensryche single. This is Another Rainy Night, backed with Last Time in Paris. I once upon a time did have the one that had Scarborough Fair on it. This is maybe the last cassette that I bought. This is called The Edge of Rock. And you can see who's on there: Camper Van Beethoven, the Meat Puppets, Dinosaur Jr., some other stuff, Mary's Danish. I got this for like 50 cents or something. I thought it looked kind of cool. There's been some chatter about the Dude soundtrack from myself and Steve, Harmless Rebel. And a lot of the bands that are on that album are bands people know about. One of the two or three that really are unknown is the Little Kings. This is their Epitaph Records cassette. As far as I know, this is the only album they put out. I don't know if it was ever pressed on vinyl, and I don't recall if it came out on CD. This is from mid-'80s, so it was in that transitional period. But definitely pretty good, 80s Epitaph punk rock stuff, if that is your bag. All right, and these I might have shown before. This one I know I showed, but I want to send a shout out for my buddies at Mumula who've been playing around the Columbus area. Been to Horror Hound Weekend. Good stuff. I've known their frontman Eric Blair for years and years and years. Good, he's a really cool guy. So definitely check this out if you are able to. Ghost Car Records. This is all synthwave stuff. I kind of like that every once in a while. This came out last year. I think it's pretty cool. So I picked up a copy. Now I've got some. You're not going to find these, and I'm not trying to show off because these things really don't mean much. Lurch was a horror punk band from Michigan that I was briefly in contact with once upon a time. This was their cassette. I think I still have their demo CD somewhere behind me. Natsat Nation. These are guys that actually went to my high school. Back in the day, you did a cassette demo if you couldn't afford to do a CD or an LP. And it was a way to give a booker a idea what your band sounded like. You could sell them at your shows, make a few bucks. Sometime in the 90s, we tried to sell a lot of demo tapes. The band that my brother was involved with that was on our record label, and I heard a lot of people say, I don't have a cassette player anymore. People, don't get rid of your players. VHS, cassette, CD, DVD, any of that stuff, because there's going to come a day when you're going to want to play something and you're not going to have a player. If it's broken or dead, that's fine. But don't just throw it out. Learn the lesson of the 80s. Don't just get rid of your player. All right. A couple more cassettes here. Cincinnati area band called the Vladimirs. They were kind of typo negative, punk rock, metal. The boots fit, lace them up. It's kind of a classic, The Family. We were briefly in contact with these guys. We let them slap our record label logo on a couple of their records. They're still out there. You can find their music on Bandcamp and on various places on the net. So just Google the Vladimirs. Another band we had I had one dealing with is the Green Goblin Project from Florida. They were on a tribute 7-inch that we put out that someday I will get around to showing some of the Reanimator record stuff, which was our record label. 25 cents. Masters of Metal. This is a K-Tel cassette, but look, it's got Y&T, it's got Dokken, it's got Dio, it's got Van Halen, Rainbow, Iron Maiden, Twisted Sister. You know, this is a good way to check out some of those bands. If you run across cassettes like this, you can check things out and see what they are. Some 80s classic thrash metal crossover stuff that I kept. Carnivore. This is the pre-Typo Negative Peter Steele band. And this is both of their albums on cassette tape on Road Racer, and they're both on Road Racer. So there are those. Okay. Corey and I were talking about the Music Machine, and there's the Music Machine CDs I have. This is a classic 60s garage rock band. Highly recommend checking them out. Their first album's getting reissued for Record Store Day, if anybody's interested in checking them out. They're also on the Nuggets box set. If you don't know much about 60s garage, highly recommend picking up the Nuggets box set. That will set you on the path. You will hear bands that you like. You will be able to trace them. A lot of these bands have actually been reissued on labels like Sundays. I think these are all on Sundays or collectibles. So really great stuff. Highly recommended. Okay, what else we got here? So a couple of things that I picked up because I heard about them in the VC. Laz Rockets. Annihilation Principle. The originals out there are kind of pricey, and this is one of those, burn on demand things from Amazon. But hey, I wanted to check it out, so it was worth it. I've listened to it a couple times, pretty cool. Armored Saint, Delirious Nomad. This is another one I've played a bunch of times. I was never really big thrash guy, but a lot of you guys in the VC talking about thrash has kind of gotten me back into the VC. All right, so I think I read about Henry Rollins talking about this album. This is the Ruts with their album The Crack. I'm sorry, it's called Ruts at this point. They were a UK punk band, did a little bit of reggae-ish stuff, but I've enjoyed listening to this in the car. Cool stuff. Definitely if you're looking for something beyond the Pistols and the Clash and the Damned, definitely the Ruts are a band you should check out, along with the Vibrators. Something I picked up cheap. Miranda Lambert, of all of the kind of current mainstream country people, she's the one I like the best. This is one of her older records. I think I got it for $2. So that was cool. And I should have brought up the channel, but there's a psych channel I follow, and they were talking about this pop psych album, the Revolt of Emily Young, which is kind of a concept album novella. It's okay. It's not groundbreaking, but it's cool. It's from the early 70s. It's a band called Fox with 2 X's, and I got that off of Amazon fairly cheaply. And you guys know about the Nurse with Wounds list? So Nurse with Wounds was this late 70s gothy, weird, industrial, krautrock, whatever you want to call them, band. And one of the things they did with, I think, their first album is they had a list of the bands and the records that influenced them. And so I was, you can find that online, and I was kind of exploring that list, looking for stuff. And I ran across this Nosferatu from Germany from the late 60s. This gives me kind of a really early Blue Oyster Cult boogie kind of feel. It's German jazz rock fusion, more heavily weighted towards the rock. I really like this. This has grown on me a lot playing it in the car. And then finally, a lot of stuff behind me and over here. And eventually a lot of this stuff I'm going to have to do something with, give it away, sell it, whatever. Probably not for a while. I'm not quite at that point in my life. But one of the things I see around, and one of the things that when people talk about purging their collections, there's this whole fad of clearing out everything in your life. So, you want to, I don't know, let me pick something real quick. You want to get rid of your VHS of Newsies? Sure, you'll be able to find that on streaming or DVD, or Disney will be selling that forever. Or, Stand By Me is not going anywhere. what is going places that you will have trouble finding and reacquiring and accessing again is local stuff, small pressing, small label stuff. And for me, one of the local bands that I never got to see live is the RFD Boys. I got this at a thrift store, I think at Goodwill, for a couple bucks. I haven't checked it out yet, but it's like they started in the late '70s, just playing folk and country and that kind of stuff, blues. There's songs in here like Detroit City, and that's really the only one I recognize. My own grandpa, that kind of stuff, Black Mountain Rag. But these kinds of things you're going to want to hold on to if they meant something to you. So, at any rate, one final thing. So, when your favorite current band and one of your all-time favorite bands put out a new record and you know them, you want to buy copies. So, Forbidden Dimension, who I've talked about before, these guys, it's a new sticker, just put out a new record called It's a Morbid, Morbid, Morbid World. This is what the back of it looks like. And so I ordered a bunch of copies, and they sent them separately, and they did some drawings on the back. Sent them separately because it was cheaper to send from Canada that way. So, got that. And some of you may recall that I showed that Post-it note drawing. Well, they sent it to me, so that's super cool. I'm going to get this framed. I've listened to part of the record. I got it like 2 days ago. I have another copy that's in the car. Really, really good. If you want a copy of this, hit up the Forbidden Dimension on Facebook. I will leave a link in the comments to where their Facebook can be found, and they will set you up with the order. They do the PayPal thing, so check them out. Really great band. I can't recommend them highly enough. I know they're an acquired taste, but if you like the horror punk and the classic rock and all of that stuff, definitely worth a listen. So, thank you all for your time. I hope you enjoy these. Leave me comments below if you got questions or information or anything. And I got some stuff on the way coming in the mail, some stuff I'm pretty excited about. So I will show that when I get kind of a critical mass of it here. And I will catch you all next time.